Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Trinidad and Tobago's opposition claims CARICOM fired Rowley. This story takes the lead in our 1076th edition of Caribbean Perspective for Thursday, 25th March 2021. Details after this break.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
Welcome back. The Opposition United National Congress in Trinidad and Tobago claims that CARICOM has constructively fired Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley as head of the 15-member grouping. Furthermore, the UNC is alleging that the reason the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, wrote to the US to request vaccines on behalf of CARICOM is because various heads of state did not want to be represented by Dr. Rowley, on the heels of begging for vaccines statement. TV6's Renessa Cutting reports.
News of the Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister writing the US requesting a donation of vaccines on behalf of CARICOM broke on Friday, 19th March, one day after TNT's Prime Minister made the following statement during a televised conversation with the nation.
A few of our Caribbean neighbors have got gifts, and of course, when you go to somebody asking for a gift, that is not a gift, you're begging.
The opposition UNC says Dr. Rowley effectively branded the other prime ministers as beggars, and they believe this contributed to the incoming CARICOM head writing the US president to ask for vaccines. They say Dr. Rowley should be ashamed.
That is constructive dismissal when another CARICOM prime minister, who is not the chairman of the CARICOM, is writing on behalf of the CARICOM. That is constructive dismissal. It's like saying, look, man, you're a waste of time. Fired, you're a waste of time. I'm going to write for my colleagues in the CARICOM and for the people of the CARICOM region.
However, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs confirms that Dr. Rowley wrote to the US, formally requesting vaccines for CARICOM on Saturday, 20th March, which is after Gaston Brown's correspondence. It's a move being labelled as hypocritical by the opposition, given government's initial position on asking for donations from India. After much toing and froing in the public domain, on Monday, this government held high-level talks with the Indian High Commissioner on the issue.
The opposition is making vaccine bacchanal. That is how Government Minister Fitzgerald Hines describes the latest vaccine criticism by the UNC. Anselm Gibbs of TV6 News reports.
So we have two crises, COVID and the UNC. Because they're up and down the place only making bacchanal, Sunday after Sunday, Monday night after Monday.
Youth Development and National Service Minister Fitzgerald Hines on the attack. He spoke with reporters Tuesday, responding to criticism by the opposition of the government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And you just have to wonder what would have happened under drunken leadership, unsober leadership, scandalous leadership, leadership that tell you Sanders cure COVID.
Hines also played some defense, defending what the Prime Minister said about the vaccine controversy involving India.
That the Prime Minister explained if you had to ask for a donation, that is not a donation. You beg it. He used the language of the ordinary man so that you, the citizens, could have understood what he meant. Nothing offensive. There was no attack on anyone.
He said the Prime Minister was made to explain in response to bacchanal drummed up by the UNC.
UNC has become very well renowned for bringing shame and disgrace in many ways to Trinidad and Tobago. And I am concerned about the international reputation that might be created But I think they have done it for so much and for so long. Our CARICOM neighbors, I think the government of India, you will notice that the Prime Minister, has not responded to the leader of the opposition.
Hines continuously defended the government's handling of the pandemic, describing it as impeccable. Anselm Gibbs, TV6 News.
Trinidad and Tobago is dubbed a cosmopolitan country where the words, "Here every creed and race find an equal place," are etched into the national anthem. But the Equal Opportunity Commission believes there is an unhealthy situation where race and racism is concerned, and it plans on targeting the youth. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News has more in this report.
Indo and Afro-Trinbagonians make up the largest ethnic groups among the diverse nation of TNT. The numbers are 35.4% and 34.2% respectively, based on a 2017 report by the Pan American Health Organization. That's followed by persons of mixed race at 23%. Chairman of the Equal Opportunity Commission, Ian Roach, believes the situation as it relates to eliminating racial discrimination in the country leaves much to be desired.
Places an unhealthy state of affairs. In a nutshell, places in a very unhealthy state of affairs. Because as much as Trinidad is viewed by many to be a place of equal opportunity and racial harmony, there still racial discrimination rears its head too often, and it is very detrimental to the society and its productivity.
Based on a survey by the EOC in 2017, discrimination based on race and ethnicity was deemed to be the most prevalent form of discrimination in TNT.
And this was consistent also with the final of the Maury Caribbean Opinion Survey done in 2011.
Roach says it's an impediment to a nation that's striving to set the example on the world stage as it relates to a rainbow of racial and cultural diversity. On March 21st, the United Nations celebrated the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination under the theme Youth Standing Up Against Racism. The EOC chairman says allowing young people to be an active part of the cause towards promoting racial equality is vital, and he's encouraging the youth to take control of the future and be the change they would like to see.
And I think among young people, there's a great hope, because young people tend to be more open-minded than adults. They tend to be more energetic, and they tend to be more prone to having change, accepting change.
While Rhodes says there are those who have made viable contributions in seeking to end racism, he also feels some have dropped the ball.
We need to pick it up and continue and create the type of environment, the type of life, the type of society that they will really want to live in the 21st century and moving forward. So I think a lot of emphasis where the Equal Opportunity Commission is concerned, moving forward, is going to be piloted in educating the youth as to their rights, to finding commonalities among themselves.
Roach tells us this education drive is being done through traditional media and social media with the aim of sparking discussion. In addition, the EOC is hoping to play a more active role in taking the message to schools. Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
The sanctity of the March 2nd, 2020 elections in Guyana was violated the very moment the seals of ballot boxes were broken to embark upon an unconstitutional recount sanctioned by GCOM and not the election court. Royce Delford told Chief Justice. HGP's reporter Wendell Badri has some details.
That was an extract from submissions made by Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs in the National Assembly, Royce Delford, representing the petitioners in Election Petition 88, which is currently before the High Court. While Petition 99 is currently before the Court of Appeal following its dismissal by the Chief Justice in early February for late service on David Granger, submissions are currently being made for Petition 88, following which a scheduled hearing is anticipated, also by the Chief Justice, Madam Roxanne George. The date for that hearing is expected to be announced by email following submissions by all parties to the petition. Petition 88 seeks to establish that the Guyana Elections Commission overreached its constitutionally mandated authority by drafting Order 60, which paved the way for the national recount exercise. GECOM says that Section 22 of the Constitution grants it the authority to embark on such exercises, with the aim of resolving any difficulties that may arise during the conduct of the polls. Ford, in his written submission, which was seen by this newscast, claims that submissions made on behalf of GECOM, the Vice President, Bar Jagdeo, as well as the Attorney General, Anil Nandlal, contradict each other, even though they are all in agreement with Section 22 of the Election Laws Amendment Act, which stating that it is not unconstitutional. The petitioner said that it is not for GECOM, after declarations have been made, to entertain disputants and descend into an investigation of controversies in a quasi-judicial effort to resolve them, as this authority resides solely in the High Court, while also submitting that GECOM cannot be allowed to redraw the boundaries of the exclusive jurisdiction of the court. Positing that the electoral body trampled upon Article 163 of the Constitution when it drafted Order 60, Ford said that, and I quote, "The sanctity of the March 2, 2020 elections was violated the very moment seals of ballot boxes were broken to embark upon an unconstitutional recount sanctioned by GECOM and not the election court." End quote. The senior counsel concluded on the note that the relief sought by the petitioners be granted, as the conduct of the March 2, 2020 election was substantially not in compliance with the law in relation to the conduct of elections. The petitioners are asking the court, if it rules in its favor, that the 2020 election be vitiated. It is also asking for the presidential candidate of the APNU AFC list of candidates, David Granger, to be restored as president, among other reliefs. Wendell Badri, HGP Nightly News.
An air carrier from Suriname is scheduled to start flying to Guyana and other countries in the region soon. This was recently announced by Guyana's Minister of Public Works, Juan Edghill, during a press briefing at the Chedijagan International Airport. Regarding the safety of staff at the Chedijagan International Airport, Edghill said he is advocating on behalf of the Board of Directors to have vaccines available to staff since they are frontline workers. Guyana signed an open skies agreement with Suriname last December to broaden connectivity and tap into the new and existing markets with the Dutch nation. The agreement was lauded for the opportunities it will open for both countries in the areas of travel, tourism and trade. In recent months, U.S. carrier JetBlue has got approval and has begun its operations in Guyana, while Virgin Atlantic and other carriers have also applied to ply the Guyana route.
Calling all vehicle owners. Inspection and licensing continues, and at Hubbard's we want you to be ready. From February 16th to March 31st, registration numbers 2501 to 5000 with single registration letter, or registration numbers 251 to 500 with plural registration letters will receive 11% off new torque tires and PowerMax batteries. Don't get caught unprepared. Visit us today at the Motor Department in Mount Gay or the Tire Bay in Grand Anse near to the building supplies.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.